Hello, my name is Dale Wilhite. Just got at home here in limbo, and so I'm just making some concept pitches. I have several hundred all over the internet, and I'm going to make a short one here. This one here is on how the police can better serve the public, and it has to do with a number of police officers who are arresting innocent people simply because that police officer did not know what the current laws were. You know, a lot of it has to do with people carrying a gun. And for some reason, some of these police officers believe that they had to be registered, or this person wasn't legally carrying it, or it's against the law to carry it in that state, only to find out later, or the police officers find out later, that this is an error. They made a mistake. Here is a simple idea on how maybe we can stop or avoid making these kind of mistakes, or police officers can stop making these kind of mistakes. Simply put, they need something like a computer, a hand computer, or the computer they have in the car. And on that computer, it has to list what the state laws are, all of them. And I'm sure a computer can hold it. And if they come, let's say I had a gun, and I'm walking out the doors with it, and a police officer comes up and tells me, well, you can't legally carry that gun, even though where I'm at now I could. And then I sit there and say, oh, no, the law states that I can carry this. If you arrest me, it's illegal. Well, if I'm not a threat to that police officer, there's not a confrontation, which it wouldn't be, of course. That police officer can go to his cruiser, look on the computer, and look it up and see what the current law is. That avoids an arrest, tax money being wasted, time for that police officer having to do paperwork. It saves the taxpayer some money, and it saves the police department or sheriff's department from looking incompetent. They need to do this nationwide. They need to put all the current laws and keep them updated, so police officers have access to them. And when they're confronted with somebody that says, "Hey, you can't arrest me for this. This is legal," and if that officer has any doubt, well, then that officer, again, if there's no confrontation, and police officer may go ahead and handcuff the person, which would be fine. But that officer can go to the cruiser and look, and it shouldn't take hardly any time to find out what the current law is on that. And that would save the taxpayers probably millions of dollars each year. It would save a lot of people from having to go through a dramatic experience of being arrested when they know they haven't done anything wrong. That's the worst kind of arrest, I suppose. And that would be updating our, maybe not the judicial system some, but it would be making things a lot better, let's say. It would be a big improvement to law enforcement. Because, we all want only the guilty arrested. We don't want innocent people arrested. That's not the way it is. And this nation is fast becoming a police state. And we've got to do something to curb police powers in this country, because it seems, even though it's really not a lot of the police officers' fault, it's getting worse. And this here would be a big improvement. It's just like there was a story once, or a documentary about police officers allowing a health inspector to go on somebody's property. Somebody from EPA to go on the property when legally they could not do that. Okay, because the owner would not give consent, but the police officer forced the owner to let the EPA officials to go on that property. And in that area, I think, which was up in Washington State, they could not do that. And so the police officer found out later that the EPA official did not have the legal authority to go on that property without a warrant. And that tried to get a warrant, couldn't get one, but then found a police officer that would force the homeowner to let her look on that property for something that she thought was going on, which turned out to be a dud. There was nothing, I don't remember what it was about, but there was nothing the homeowner was doing that was illegal. But even if it was illegal, you have to get a warrant. And see, the police officer did not understand the current laws. You would think he would, but he did not. That's the kind of things we're trying to avoid. All it simply does, it helps the police officer, okay, to know what the current laws are, because more and more we're finding out that there are police officers who don't really know what all the laws. With so many of them on the book, how are they supposed to know them all anyway? So technically, you can't really say it's their fault. Okay, there are some officers that are just but as the old saying goes, every tree has a bad apple. So that's expected that you're going to have a few bad ones. But I'm just trying to update it some to say that there is a way to curb these kind of arrests that are not needed. If the police department look a little bit more competent, and it just improves things altogether, and it especially helps people who find being arrested as a dramatic experience, a very terrifying experience, or a humiliating experience. It would save them from having to go through that. Of course, it would save the taxpayer a lot of money.
It's just a thought. I just wanted to pitch it because I think it would be a good idea if it's a reality in this country. Unfortunately, it's a situation where I can do it, so I can just hope that someday some lawmakers will think of this idea and make it a reality.